Should animals be tried for committing crimes? Are dogs better than cats? Will I start an ASMR? Tune in today to find out all these questions and more as I eat a head of lettuce. Do you like that little intro I did? Hey. We're gonna start with the first one. Mudang. Harambe. That homophobic dog. You know, the one that's like white. Should they be held responsible for like, you know, committing crimes? Because get this. If a gator kills a human, should we in turn have to put down that alligator? Or do we just blame it on that's what they were bred to do? Because when they put down Harambe, that was a child's life that was in danger. But also, should humans know better than to involve themselves with animals? Because rumor has it, y'all, we're at the top of the food chain. We have bows and arrows. We can take out gorillas. But like, super confusing if it like, should we be pacifist when a human attacks an animal? Or should we be violent back? I'm really not sure. Because, like, I feel like if, like, a grizzly bear broke into an elementary school, like, yeah, let's take care of the bear. But, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like if a shark ate me, I don't think I'd want my family members to go and get that shark and put it down. I feel like that's a little over the top, you know? I don't know. Last night I went to a Shakespeare play. It was nice, y'all. And I'm not really invested in like theater. That's not my scene. I know some people who are. I'm related to some people, but just not for me. You know, if there's a play in town, like when the Phantom of Opera came to a city near me, I went to go see that. Because I liked the movie, you know? But I'm not one to like support local theater. Unless it's like a children's play, you know? You'll only really catch me going if it's like very professional, or if it's like 3-year-olds going, because then that's super cute, you know? Like if my like if there's like a 7-year-old niece of mine, you best believe I'm going to be sitting in the audience if she gets up and sings. I'm less inclined to go see like maybe a college production. I've seen a college production or two in my day, but not necessarily for me. So, that out of the way. Here's my message for the theater community as someone with very low stakes in the actual theater community. I feel like, especially when it comes to Shakespeare, maybe calm down on the fun twists, you know? Because, like, the one play I went to go see yesterday, it was nice. It was like 1700s or 1600s. Everything was like normal. It was just like a normal production. But I've seen a few in my day where it's like, uh-oh, we're in like the 1980s in Los Angeles. And it's like, that I don't vibe with as much. Because it does kind of take me out of it if it's like, uh-oh, here come Barvadio and Mercutio, and they're like, in 2010s, the streets of, like, I don't know, London? New York. It's like, I get that maybe that's fun for the actors to do. But if I'm gonna go see a Shakespeare play, I want it to just be like normal pilled, you know? Like 1600s, please. I want to see the men in a puffy sleeve, and I want to see the woman in a swishy skirt. Cancel me. Like, I literally know that's problematic, but that's the way, like, plays done. I don't want to go see, like, Romeo and Juliet, but it's on a spaceship. I think leave that to the movies, you know? Like, and they only really do it for Shakespeare. It's like, you don't ever really see like a reimagining of the Titanic where it's like, uh-oh, the year is 3000 and we are on the moon of Jupiter. Like, no. I want to see Kate Winslet wear a big hat. And while we're on the topic of that, what happened to big hat culture? I don't vibe with everything they had going on in the 1900s. Early to late, you know? But there is much to be said for the fact that we have lost something beautiful in the fact that men and women aren't just wearing big, beautiful hats anymore. It is so rare in this world that you will look at someone and be like, oh, they're truly dapper right now. Dapper culture is disappearing. And that's why I'm running for office. Folks, get to those ballots and vote me in. Write in Finn Toews And I promise you, within the year, I will be implementing 5% more top hats, 60% more wide-brimmed hats with all the feathers and skulls and stuff, whatever it is y'all wear. And you will also see a 10% increase in non-functional decorative canes with a little bird's head or like a little snake as a top. That's the ticket I'll be running on. Also, I want trains to be like a luxury experience again. Like, I want trains to be accessible for everyone, but I also want there to be like certain trains where you go on and, you know, it's the man with the mustache and he's like, "Hello, sir. Can I give you a pillow? Can I give you an aspirin for your toothache?" You know, I want to sit down in the lunch booth or the reading booth, and then I want a man in a white collar butler uniform, or woman, or non-binary. I don't, you know, prescribe what gender I want the butlers to be. I want to see more non-binary butlers. In fact, let's talk about it. I feel like we need to have a big movement of non-binary people moving into the butler industry. Because the stereotype is baristas. But imagine, like, you know, 2026, there's a new wave of non-binary, gender fluid people. But instead of, you know, working at whatever till, you know, in the art department of some school, I want to see them literally, you know, in like, you know, with like a high collared suit, you know, where the collar goes all the way up to their chin and it's super starched and they're just absolutely snooty and they totally have beef with the kitchen maids. "Hello, sir." Think about it. Jeeves is totally a great gender non-specific name. You know? I feel like there's like not a huge market for like not enough people are brainstorming gender fluid names. And I would like to officially throw Jeeves in. Folks, hear me out. If you're thinking about a they in your pronouns and you're not sure what name you want to be addressed as, go with Jeeves. I want to see this movement happen. I want to see an uptick in Jeeves and Giles. Butler names. We need butler names. But yeah, when I'm on a train, I want to pay a nice, like, a fair enough amount of ticket price, whatever that is. We don't really have much trains where I am. But I want to sit down in the booth with a pipe, and I want a non-binary butler to come up to me and say, "Can I help you, sir?" And I'll be like, "Thank you, butler. I want an aspirin." And then the butler goes back into wherever and returns with a glass of water, and then, you know, drops, like from olden times, drops one of those little aspirins that start fizzing in the drink. I need that. And then I also would like a complimentary, you know, not even anything big, just like a little memorabilia. I would risk being murdered to travel on the Orient Express. Sorry. You seen how they were decked out on that train? And they were drinking tea and wine. And then, like, when they weren't, like, absolutely killing each other, they were drinking tea and wine. They were in the reading room. They were in the sitting room. Bring back sitting rooms. You know, in Downton Abbey, one of my favorite parts is whenever, you know, before or after the big dinner that they have, the women go into the sitting room, the men go into the smoking room. But then that begs a question. Which room do non-binary people go in Downton Abbey? And that's why, for all the new old fancy mansions, as part of my ticket for when I run for office, bigger hats, more canes, more butler names for the non-binary community, and then also for the non-binary community, I want a third secret room where y'all can sit before dinner. Because maybe you're not into smoking and maybe you're not into sitting. You know? What would that be? Ooh, maybe like a billiards. Or like a card room. Mind you, in olden times, card playing was for women, I think. They would play the cards, and the men would smoke cigars. It rhymes. Is walking by, and I don't want to talk loudly in front of them because it's going to be embarrassing, so let me just sit and eat in silence. This absolutely is my favorite face to make. Also, Team Skylar. Sorry. And even more so, Team Marie. A lot of people hate on Marie. But you want to know what? In TV shows, whenever there's a kleptomaniac, I will be standing. I'm sorry to say. I hope... Hey, to the kleptomaniac community out there, I hope you seek treatment. I hope you get better. That being said, if I'm watching a TV show and someone just has sticky fingers and they can't help but, you know, take something off the shelf, they will be my favorite character. Because I relate. I'm not kleptomaniac, but I do have sticky fingers, you know? I'm Snoopy. I will go through a drawer. I'll open up a bathroom cabinet. Hello. That'll be another part of my ticket. Legalize sifting through people's cabinets. Like, I'm sorry. Literally, whenever I have anyone over to my house, especially my room, I will, like, specifically prepare the room to be snooped through, you know? if there's anything I don't want to be found while they're snooping, I will make sure to put that in a secret hiding spot that only I know about. Because let me tell you another thing about snoopers. They're not going to go the distance to try and find your secret hiding spot. Most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, maybe 8. Think about the snooping community. We're just going to take a peek, you know? Let me see. Open up that cabinet real quick. Let me see what face cream you use. This is a good head of lettuce right now, y'all. Speaking of snooping, I always ask people, do you prefer Snoopy or Garfield? And not no cats and dogs argument. That one's done to death, you know? And besides, you can usually tell by looking at someone if they're a dog person or a cat person. But I feel like dog and cat person, that's pretty basic. If you ask them if they prefer Snoopy or Garfield, I feel like that's much more telling. Like, if you prefer Garfield, you're chill like that, you know? Like, you literally don't even care. Like, people who are into Garfield, they're chill, they like to have a snack, and they literally are just there to have a good time, you know? If you like Snoopy, you may be a little bit quieter, but you know what? You're a little more sneaky, you know? Like, Snoopy is a little sneaky. He's a little snarky, too. People who like Snoopy, they got it figured out, you know? People who really like Calvin and Hobbes are a danger to society. Sorry to say. Okay, all my lunch just ended. I'm gonna move my car. Sorry, just reading a notification. I totally forgot to... I'm gonna be making ASMR. Check that out.
Bluetooth is connected.
That was a good lunch. That was really good. Let me tell you right now, sesame snaps. Oh, love those. I know that's right. Okay. Lunchtime is over.